Alright, I'm gonna make a little video for you today. I'm gonna try to reassemble my GPD Pocket computer that I had disassembled in a haste this morning in an attempt to replace the keyboard. The A and Z key stopped working for me, so I bought a new keyboard. And I should mention, it stopped working for me around the time I was drinking out of a leaky water bottle. So if those two events are related, that makes a little bit of sense. Okay, but here is the old keyboard. Okay, and I bought a new keyboard from a site called Puravision, and it's advertising a official GPD Pocket replacement keyboard. It did not have a picture on the website, but I took a leap of faith, paid 23 bucks, and I got this keyboard in the mail. And the only difference I can see between the two of them is that the old one is kind of glossy and the new one is kind of matte, and I'm not sure which one I like better. I think I might like the tactile feel of the matte one better, but that's a detail, minor detail. Okay, so I took this computer all apart this morning, didn't have time to put it back together, had to rush to work, but I'm putting it back together now, and I want to see if I can get this new keyboard on there. A couple things now before you try to do this on your own. A couple things I want to mention. First of all, absolutely disconnect your battery before taking the whole thing apart. Here's the battery. Okay, disconnect that first before you go poking around unscrewing things. I have fried a motherboard on an EEPC because I left the power on. Well, we all break things from time to time. Try not to do that. Another thing is, I am not liable if you break your computer. I am not I'm not a computer expert, but I dabble. So you see me dabbling here. And let's get to it. I'm going to put this back together. I'm going to use, this is a teeny tiny 1/16 inch screwdriver. Now my niece gave me this screwdriver for Christmas, like 2 Christmases ago. She said she bought me this screwdriver set and said I can use it to fix my bike. Well, here I'm going to use it to fix this computer. So this is a 1/16 inch screwdriver, and it is teeny tiny to get these little teeny tiny screws. There's about 50 of them that hold the keyboard in place. And there was a funny joke on the YouTube site where they actually do have an official video for this YouTube keyboard replacement. And someone wrote a comment that said, only 50 screws? Oh, wow, there should be at least 100. So I thought that was pretty funny. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to seat this keyboard in here as well as I can all the way. Now it goes under some of these there's some pads here that it goes under. So I want to make sure I get it under all these things. There we go. So that's about right. Okay, and there, and there. Make sure everything seams in there properly. It's not yet. Okay. Aha. Good. And Alright, now one thing is holding this back, and that is this pad. If I could just have a do-over here and get that under there. Alright. It's not how I want it. Alright. I see some editing in my future. There we go. Come on out under the pads. There we go. Perfect. Alright. So, let's align this right again. Alright, so the thing is flat in there, and there's about like 50 screws. And when you're taking this apart, you're going to miss like 6 or 7 of them. There's one like under this pad here. So you gotta go on a little Easter egg hunt getting all the screws. But once you get them, you're good to go. So here we go, the long process. I'm going to find every single screw hole. Now it helps to have a magnetic little screwdriver. And I don't know if this is magnetic, but like it seemed to be magnetic after I touched the little magnet here. Hey, cool. Alright. So, definitely going to edit this part of the video. It'll take like half the morning putting these 50 screws in here. So for the past couple weeks, I've been using the Unicode, Linux Unicode codes to write the letter A. Shift Control U 0061 for lowercase a, Shift Control U 0041 for capital A, and then I would like copy paste whenever I need it. I'm on Linux, by the way. I don't know if that works in Windows. I got Fedora Linux. I just installed Fedora Linux 28 on this. And that's what I've been doing to get my letter A's for the past 2 weeks. It did take a couple weeks for this keyboard to arrive, but when there's only one, you gotta wait for it. Can't just go down to the corner store and buy a new GPD Pocket Keyboard. I even looked for on eBay for, you know, broken for parts computers, but they're too new. People aren't breaking them. But maybe this will be the first one after I turn it on. It's broke. I'll put it on eBay for parts. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully it will turn on and everything will be fine. And don't forget these little corners here. Sometimes there's just a little divot that's sort of struck out of the base of the keyboard, but there should be a screw in there. It's not like a proper hole, is what I'm trying to say. It's just a little divot cut out of the corner. I'm trying to go under this pad to get to where that one screw goes. And it's stuck on there with some sticky tape. I think I got it. Alright. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Alright, cross your fingers that I don't drop this. This is the last screw. Miracle. It's a miracle. I got all the way through these without losing a single one. Okay, now, got that. That's done. Alright, so these pads here, these are guides for, I believe this is the Wi-Fi antenna cable. So, you might want to push these into the pads a little bit to secure them and guide them. Okay. Alright, so those are in place. Well, it will be. There we go. Now they are in place. Alright. So the next thing that goes on here is this black label that sits atop the keyboard. Okay, and there are some holes here. You can line it up, but basically it just slides in under these pads and onto this little hole right here. Okay, and when you're peeling this off, there's a couple layers, so you don't want to peel too soon, or else you'll peel the one layer right off the other layer, and I'm assuming that's not a great thing. Alright, so delicate procedure here. That's on, and pull it a little bit this way, and I'm going to try to get this once again under these pads. These pads, they make this process a little more difficult than I would like. Alright. Under. Let me try a little flat screwdriver here. Just nudge this under the pad. And you could probably just pull these pads off and stick them back on. I don't think that's going to hurt anybody. Alright. But I'm trying to disassemble as little as possible on this. Alright, so that's all under. Putting my cables back. Good. That looks pretty good to me. I'm satisfied with that. Alright, so that's back. Alright. So now I get to reassemble the computer mechanism here. So I'm going to grab, this is the motherboard. Alright. I'm going to put this right on like so. Alright. Now this cable here, this is the cable for the screen, and I did not undo that. I had some trouble pulling that apart, so I just left it. But there is another ribbon here that you will have to disassemble. Okay. You will have to disassemble this ribbon here, which I believe is the power cable ribbon. It's right here. Okay. You will have to disassemble that because there's a screw under it. Alright, so I'm going to get my larger screwdriver. I'm going to put those two screws back in. Okay. So this is my 3/32 inch screwdriver. So I'm putting a screw under this ribbon, and I'm going to put this ribbon right back on here. Power cable ribbon. Should hear a little click or feel a little click when it's in there correctly. There we go. That's good. Alright, so that is back. And one more screw belongs here on this side. Okay. Now, this fan is just kind of glued on, which is interesting. Alright. It attaches with this red and black cable, and in other YouTube videos said that this was kind of fragile and hard to disassemble, so you'll see I have not disassembled those. I just leave those where they are. Okay. Alright. I want to put this mechanism back on. So this mechanism is going to be for keyboard and that little mouse button. Okay. So this was a little tricky to figure out. Alright. But, you know what? I may have done that backward. I may have. Oh. So I did. Yeah, don't listen to me, folks. Alright. So this should go on first. I am going to unscrew this. Unscrew this. I'm going to put this white thing back on first. Teaching moment, folks. Shall I edit this out, or should I leave it as a teaching moment? Okay. Alright, so that should be enough to slide this thing here. Alright, this goes like so. Alright. There it is. So that sits. Motherboard goes on top of that stuff. Much better. Much better. Okay, we'll put these two screws back. Replace my ribbon. Getting little hairs. Alright. That is in. Okay, second screw here. Alright, as I was saying, the fan is just kind of glued on. You can see in the official keyboard replacement video posted by GPD that a guy puts a new little sticker on here and sticks this down. Well, one thing he certainly doesn't do is get his antenna cables caught. There we go. And that just kind of chills right there for now. Okay, so there's a screw that goes under this little board and metallic item. Alright, and there's one silver screw in the collection that goes under that little mechanism. So I'm going to put that screw in right now. One screw under here. This is another glued on item. Just peel it up, and there's a screw that goes right there. That's it. And then drop it back down. Alright, so that piece is installed. Alright. This piece. This is where your keyboard ribbon goes. And there's a screw holding this down. Right here, I believe. I hope. Or is it here? This one lines up better, so I'm going with that. Right, find the hole that lines up better and go with that. Alright. Unless, of course, it doesn't fit. In which case, you kind of got some issues. Alright. So, what I could do, while I figure that out, I've got only 5 screws left, okay? So, here, that's where it goes. We've got a screw on the corner of this thing, and then we have a screw down here. I was going for the wrong little hole. Alright, so I'm going for, you can see, this chip is going to go right onto here. Okay, not onto this empty hole, but this hole. Alright. There, and you also have a little peg there that guides it, so that fits great. Alright. One and two. Starting to look like the old computer again. Alright, so now we have some cables to reattach. Alright. These ribbon cables hinge and flip up. So when you're disassembling this, okay, you flip these up, slide your ribbon into the end, flip them down, boom, done. Same thing for here. Alright, slide your cable in. Should this go under here? Maybe it should go under. I don't know. I guess I should have taken a picture of that. I'm not quite sure if that goes under or over. I don't think it really matters, but it may affect how the case closes. How about if I cram everything down and go over? So what you can do when you take apart your computer, you tell me if that goes over or under. I think that just about does it. Alright. Those two, and then here is the famous keyboard ribbon. That goes under and flip down. Alright. Two more little connections to make. This is for the Wi-Fi. Alright, let's grab this one and just dot it on here. Right on the dot. I need tinier fingers for this. Okay. Aha, got the one and got the other. Now, one of these is sort of set up to be longer than the other. Obviously that goes, I don't know if it actually matters which one goes where, but probably not the smartest thing to say in a computer repair video. Oh, it doesn't matter where it goes. Should snap in. Great. Alright, so the last three screws that you gotta connect here are for this heat sink. Okay, now here's the little heat sink, and this has a dot of this heat conducting paste, and I don't know anything about it. I don't have any, so guess what? I am not going to put that on there, but if I had a little dab, I'd probably want to put a dab on there so you can see. Alright, here is where, you know, this may go under this ribbon. Alright, like so. Good. Alright, everything seems to be fitting very nicely, except maybe these red and black cables should have gone under here. That's what I would recommend. If I were to do it over again, I would see which cables go under and which cables go over. Make a better video for you guys. Alright. 3 screws left. One of these goes top. One of these goes under this ribbon. Last one goes right here in the center. Alright, so that's that. We're just about finished. The only thing left, I believe, is the battery. So here's the battery. Now this is just kind of taped on, and you may have to pry it. You can see I made some pry marks here, and I was a little worried that I damaged this, and hopefully I didn't. But just take like a small plastic object, and you have to pry this off of here, unfortunately. So let's sit it back on here. Alright, make sure it's seated properly. Okay, and then there's this one connector. You just gotta line it up and press down so that it connects. And that should be it. I think everything worked. Alright, so let's get our back plate here. Let me just reseat this one ribbon, which looks like it is in there kind of diagonally. Alright, good. Right. Plate goes back on. This thing is all my connections. This thing. Alright. Bottom plate. Now, will it power on? Let's find out. Okay, crossing of the fingers. Here we go. Oops. Bopping around. Aha. Oh, look, we got, oh, look at this. Look at this. Alright. It's loading up my Fedora. And that is on. And one thing missing still is my button for my mouse. I don't know where I put that thing. Alright. But we don't need it for the video, so I'll find it later. Do my keys work? Hey, I got an A button and I got a Z button. Isn't that great? What a wonderful end to this story. Alright. Yeah. The ending will, and yeah, the mouse works. Shut it down. The ending will be perfect when I find that little nub. I'm going to be rummaging around, but wish me luck on that. And hey, thanks for watching.